All right, what is up, guys? Just want to do a quick video on Bob. I told you guys I would try to do this every day, but truly, I just don't see that happening. There's not really much I can talk about. I mean, when it comes to Bob and ICP and all this stuff, all I can say is the very simple fact. You look at these charts, you see how everything goes. I mean, even we're looking at the daily chart right now. We can see that ICP spent, what is this? 2022 in May all the way till 23 in December. So that's like a year and 7 months right there where we spent time from $9, $10 all the way down to $3. We are not, I'm saying this now, we're not going below $6. Like, if we see anything below $6, you buy that because that's guaranteed profit. Like, it literally next day. Um, if I'm gonna say anything here, we've been forming a flag like from here to here. The idea is that right now we are testing this lower band, which we broke past, and we can see a spike down. I'm assuming it's gonna wick past $6, as I told you. We're not gonna go below $6, as in we're not gonna hold that, but we can wick past it, and we can wick hard. We can wick $6, $5, $4 in the daily chart, but we're gonna get bought up right away. Like, anything below $6 is free money. The way it's looking is like this was the test, and this daily chart is starting to form that heavy candle to the downside. Like, this could happen all week until like Friday, Saturday, where things start pumping like mad. Either the weekends are where all the liquidity's gone and we start dumping, or the liquidity's gone and we start pumping like mad fire. And that's where Monday comes in. Markets are bearish, and boom, all of a sudden crypto starts blowing up because it's a reserve source. I know it's a risk off asset where people usually, if the markets are doing good, then people invest in crypto. But at the end of the day, crypto is a risk off asset that's decentralized or uncorrelated from all the other assets. So the idea is, if the S&P and the Nasdaq and all these other markets start doing bad, people are going to put their money in crypto if they start seeing it going up naturally, as it should, because of the halving aspects, because of the reduced supply. Because where else are they going to put their money? People are gamblers by nature. Men are gamblers by nature. We want to take risk. I mean, shit, I'm not going to disclude women either. They're all gamblers too. They just gamble in their own way. They don't gamble with money. That's their finality. That's their beauty. It's the fact that they hold on to resources. But when it comes to gambling with their, I don't know, their fertility, their aspects, their probability in men, what they can get, they will throw it all away for the man that they want. So as a man, I can relate to that in terms of I will throw it all away for the coin I believe in. And when it comes to crypto and we're at bottoms like this, I'm buying. I'm buying straight up. I'm just waiting for the moment that it's going to start blowing up. Simple as that. Like, it's not going to happen overnight. As we see pumps from here, 4th of November all the way till December. So that's a whole month right there. It takes time for these pumps to come through. But just know that this is basically a bottom where things are oversold. And the lower we go, the more of a chance that we have to pump, because there's less people in the market. Simple as that. Other people are going to take advantage of that. Other people are going to see that. People sitting on the sidelines waiting for an opportunity to buy in are going to see this as the opportunity. And trust me, there are smarter people out there than you are. Don't think that you're the smartest, because there's people out there that have been waiting for a year, 2 years for this moment, this one moment, because they felt like, oh, well, I missed this moment. I'm not going to buy in. I'm going to wait a whole 2 months before I buy in again because I know it's going to go down. This isn't where the pump actually begins. This is just the initial wave. As I saw it myself when I told you in January that we were going to dump. This was just a hype aspect based off of Trump becoming president, based off of all the hype of what was going on in the market in general at that time, based off of the Bob halving that occurred back in December. Like, there's a lot of hype that occurs that people get dragged into, and you see these pumps like this. Oh, wow, you double your money. Cool. But that isn't the pump. That isn't the real pump that we're looking for. We're looking for the pump that's going to drive this whole price aspect If we take it from this this base candle to here, if we break at say around here, we're talking about $28-$30 per ICP. And I don't care what anyone says. Since we have not hit that since 2022, this is a dream come true. This is literally what people are looking for. And you know, when I'm saying this is going to happen on the just the basic technical aspect, you know, none of this actually matters. It's just that when other people see this and other people draw this chart out, then it matters. Because if everyone is saying it's going to happen, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. It occurs. We might see wicks all the way like these wicks are crazy over here. And when you drive more people into the market, more people are going to come in based off of FOMO alone, because all of these people that allowed the price go this high are going to tell the people that they know, hey, look, I made double my money on this token. And they're going to tell them, and they're going to be like, oh, I want to get in too. How did you make so much money? I want to get in. And they're going to buy. So you can assume that half the people that buy into the point where this thing can triple in price at this point are going to tell half those people. So we can assume that there's going to be another pump around $40 to $42. That's where I'm going to cut off my limit. $40. That just seems like a reasonable price because, man, I don't even have to look at it. $37. We got a great resistance right here. And we're probably going to wick a little bit above it just to test. But really just like draw your conclusions right here. This is probably where we're gonna close out, shut off, because we're gonna hit our first resistance level at about $28, which is exactly where this line ends. You know, very coincidentally. But once we end there, we're probably gonna wick up a bit higher, drop down a lot lower. So if you're gonna take any profits at all, I would wait till we hit about $25, $30, and $35. That's my cutoff points. For Bob, taking a look at this chart, it runs a lot off of ICP, especially since we're having the halving in the next, what is this? Literally 10 days. We can assume, since that's going to have again, and ICP to Bob ratio has been sitting at a 0.1. So it's about 0.1, 0.12. You know, that's like the heavier side of it. We can assume that after this halving, we're going to be sitting at an ICP price of about 0.25 per ICP, you know, so each Bob is going to equal about 1/4 of an ICP. So assume that whatever the price of ICP is at this point during this pump, we're going to see a lot more volatility in Bob. Just looking at this chart alone, we're going to definitely hit these tops at $2.9, $3. I'm expecting $4. I mean, seriously, I drew this out before this aspect happened. This like whole dump over here happened, and this descending wedge or descending I don't even know what the hell to call it at this point. Descending wedge is what I'm going to call it. Descending flag. It's been happening and it's been holding true. The way that this breaks out is according to a base structure. So we draw that here. Whoa. We take this, put it up to where we think we're going to break out. We should see a price of about 1.9. Once that breaks out, once we see this, we should flag or form another pattern over here somewhere. It probably won't last very long because ICP will then take off itself, and that will cause the price to boom. Oh, there goes my light. Hey, come on. There we go. Basically, expect Bob to blow up. I don't care. You know, at this point, I just wish I would have sold. I sold here after I bought here, and I bought back in here, sold here, waited for another dip, bought here, saw this happen, bought some more here. I've just been, you know, not timing this right. Realistically, now that I look at it, if I'm going to predict anything for the next cycle, the next halving cycle that we're expected to see somewhere in like June or July, wait for this pump. Wait for it to go to about $3, $4. I mean, shit, we hit $2 off of 10 cents. So $4 or $5 is very reasonable, especially since the liquidity is so low. The amount of hype that can be drawn in is crazy. I'm not saying this is like a bad thing, but don't expect insane prices like $7, $8, $9, $10. If that happens, Godspeed, go Bob, you know, but I'm not expecting that. Expect a lot of volatility in between these price points, but just know that once this pump happens, give it about half a month. And once half a month passes by, take your profits. And after that, wait till about 20 ish days before the next halving. And that's when you're going to see your next low. And the only reason I'm saying this is because we've been in like this kind of bearish trend. That's maybe why Bob has been dipping so damn low. Maybe it would not have hit these lower price targets if we've been on a continuous bullish run like we have in the past cycles. But January has always been bad months for Bitcoin. It's been bad months for all the altcoins too. So it's like, maybe this time you can't really read the market like that. You have to read it in the fact that the next 6 months could just be straight up bullish. Straight up, every time we have like any bearish activity, it's probably just going to be just completely time diluted. As in, like, it's going to be sideways price action, which is also a form of support forming because that also takes away from the pressure of bears. So instead of seeing price action like this, we might see sideways action like this, where we hover around these prices and then continue up higher. And that's what makes a bullish market really, really, really bullish, because then you keep going, sideways. So instead of dipping down or going straight down like this, like we have with the current form of Bob, we just go sideways. And then from there we go even higher, and we probably double what we saw here in this first pump. So it keeps going. And the next thing you know, people get scared a little bit. They're a little bit fearful. So we see a wick down. But the next thing you know, it gets bought right back up. And then when we chill out here, we form another bullish pennant. And then we freaking blow up to the moon. Yeah. And yeah, that's where you take your profits. That's where you close out. Because everything above here is complete hype, complete FOMO. Everyone that bought there is just like, I cannot get a lower price. The past 2 times, I have not been able to get a lower price. But the difference between this dump and these pumps is that the whole market's been going down. Everything's been going down. And why is that? That is simply because of the way the rich make things work. When you look at how they form the news, the way that they talk about tariffs, they talk about DeepSeek. Literally, there could be 20 bullish articles, but one article comes out about this shitty AI that has barely even been developed and that runs on 20 times more efficiency than ChatGPT, even though there's been billions and billions of dollars put into ChatGPT. But this company with $16 million invested into it somehow produced something that's 20 times more efficient. They don't understand that DeepSeek literally has way less capabilities than ChatGPT. No wonder why it's so much more efficient. Maybe if you put in 1/10 of what ChatGPT was capable of, you would be at a 1/10 efficiency, 1/5 efficiency. There are so many things that ChatGPT can do that DeepSeek cannot do. And all this news is something that other people don't even consider. There are so many people I can walk by every single day that I can just look at and go, man, you barely even freaking know how to brush your teeth. Wipe your ass for the less of that. I'm not going to trust you when it comes to my financial advice. You can sell what you want. Make this dip go lower so I can get a better price point, because all this bearish news that they are hyping up is simply so they can get a better price point. Don't believe in the FUD. Believe in the fundamentals, the utility, the understanding that Bob is going to go from 300 Bob per block rewards all the way down to 150, and that's going to go to 75, and then it's going to go to like 35.5, and it's just going to keep getting lower, and people are going to find it harder to mine, and the only way they're only going to be able to buy it, this utilized freaking token that literally burns ICP and has Atlas backing it up, which is an AI that literally trades on its own accord based off of the tea leaves of whatever the Twitter and X and all this shit says, that I don't even know if it's profitable at this point. I can't really track that. I mean, I don't want to look at it too deeply, but this thing could be more profitable than most people eventually in the next 3 months. And when people finally come back 3 months later and see, hey, this bot is more profitable than me, and it's making money as a market maker for Bob. Wow. Wow. That's when all the hype comes in. Only when people see these things that we already knew come to fruition, then the price goes up. And that's when you take profit. Simple as that. Keep holding, guys. I'm feeling very, very bullish. Literally, maybe you should expect something like this, but a little bit shorter on how long these stagnant areas are. But this is pretty accurate, actually. I just drew this out of shit and giggles. But March, May, July, September. Yeah, this is kind of how the bull market can really go. So expect this in terms of price action. Be very bullish. I'm going to keep buying until the halving and a little bit after the halving. But really, the thing is, before the halving on Bob, we were pumping up in this stagnant form. When I zoom out now, I can kind of see that we're probably going to still keep on pumping up, and we're going to break out right here, exactly where I said. And then things are going to get really, really bullish after the 23rd. I would say like end of February, maybe even a little bit earlier because people are expecting it. So be happy. Buy Bob. I don't know about Alice too much. Truly, I really don't know about Alice too much. I bought into that token. I took my losses. I took like a 50% loss because, yeah, I kind of bought the tops a bit. And then I saw this and I took my profits here because I was like, I'm just done. I don't even know where this token's going to go. And then this happened and I was like, thank God I sold. But then we had this, and this is where I would have probably realistically bought here, still had this loss. So either way, my losses would have been the same. But right now, I have no idea where Alice is going to go. I don't know how it makes its profits. I don't know how it trades itself in a sense. Like, is Alice is it a market maker for itself? According to this, it can be. I mean, it buys its own token. It's really heavily invested in its own token, but it's still dumping. It's like, the utility is not the same as Bob. Bob here, it burns ICP. Bob here is going to have. Bob here is becoming scarcer, and it has half the supply of Alice, which is going to be, Alice is going to obviously just have less of a supply at the end of the day because as more people trade Alice, each one token is taken away from each trade and burned. But I have no way to track that. I have not been able to track that. I don't know how to see that. So if someone wants to point that out in the comments for me, I would appreciate that. But buy Bob. This is looking very bullish. This is as low as we were probably going to go. If we see any wick lower, I would be very surprised because at that point, this is just dummy. Like, this is so bullish to me that anything below this is simply a black swan event, unpredictable. It's something that we could not have foreseen, but realistically, every single dip has at least pumped up to here. I can expect at least $8, $8.50, $9 before any wick lower. And we stagnate here a bit and then continue forward. The bull market hasn't started yet. This was in premonition of a bull market because everything used to happen back in November, December. But what people haven't been seeing recently is that January has been a very bearish month for crypto. And the rest of the months after that, especially with the expansion due to the halvings and how just crypto cycles work in general, things take longer to occur because the halvings have not been as noticeable simply because they're reduced. Bitcoin went from 12.5 to 6.5. I think that's what it was. So, that reduction in supply is not easily noticeable in the beginning. But what they don't know is that the price has also been correlated to that. So back when Bitcoin used to be 50 and then it went down all the way to 25, the price was like 1/10 of what it currently is. So yeah, in monetary USD value, that is still the exact same as what happened recently with 12.5 Bitcoin to 6.25 Bitcoin because the price is at like $100,000. So that extra 6.25 Bitcoin that's been deleted out of the block reward supply, that's $625,000. That's a lot of money. So that's going to take longer to show in realistic terms, but it's going to show. And when that shows, people are going to realize, see that, and next thing you know, that's where the price market, that's when the market cap just literally doubles, triples. And people are going to see 3, 6, 7, 8, $9 trillion just flow straight into Bitcoin. And that's where you take your profits and you wait for 4 freaking years because I don't care. Bob can have a couple more times. It can have little small pumps, but I'm telling you, it's probably not going to be doing much when the bear market comes. Because as Bitcoin keeps going down, as ICP keeps going down, Bob is correlated to ICP still. That's all I can say. So be very cautious. Just understand these next 3 to 4, I'm going to say 4 to 6 months ahead of us are very bullish. I'm bullish. Keep buying Bob and stack up. Don't sell for anyone. All right, guys, that's all I got for us today. I hope you had a great time watching this video. I hope it was informative in some kind of way. Just keep holding. Be strong. Don't let anyone shake you. I've been shaken enough during this bull market. Literally lost so much money, but I'm still holding. That's why I'm going door dashing every single day. That's why I'm renting out Airbnbs every single day. I'm trying my best to make as much cash as possible to make sure that I can put it all into Bob, because this is something I don't want to miss. And currently I'm stacked very well into Bob, to the point where if things go well exactly as I expect, I'm going to be a happy man. So be happy with me. Join me on this journey. Let's make it happen.